Hello everybody. Hey, it's Ken Faulkner, and I'm here to do another knife video for me, for you, for whoever wants to listen to me go on and on. Remette knives. I recently, obviously Remette's been around for a while, and when they first came out, they were kind of like a little extreme. Of the designs were very. There's a lot going on with them in my mind. I tend to be a little bit more simpler in my design, what I like. But over time, and more knives coming out, you start to see and hear that they are really getting people's attention. And if you're watching YouTube like I am, knife YouTube particularly, you are hearing more and more people saying, these guys are a company to look out for. To watch out for. In fact, Vu Pham, probably a lot of you know Vu. I've seen some videos from Blade Show West, and he's working at the booth. There's some other brand there, but also Remette Knives is there. So, you know, he's usually got his finger on the pulse, and if he's like working with him, probably somebody to look out for. So, Remette Knives, I recently did buy one of their knives, and I've been doing kind of a series of brands that I didn't have a knife from yet, and then I bought this guy, and this is the RT Perigrine Falcon. RT, I think that has to do with the, I'm not sure, I can't remember what the RT means, if that has to do with this lock. I don't think so though, because there's other things they have there called RT. Anyhow, I did like this one when I saw it. I mean, it is pretty busy. There's a lot of stuff going on here, but I've always been a fan of this kind of that flame anno sort of thing. So that definitely caught my attention. This blade shape is got a lot going on. It's kind of like a Tanto, but it's got this like fuller, this kind of unusual. I do like interesting knives, like different knives. Probably not going to have like tons of knives like this in my collection, but yeah, with this, and it's kind of like a head of a falcon there, right? That thing around the pivot, and also thrown on top of that they have the pivot lock on this one. All that stuff eventually got to me, and plus I was saying I got to pick up some of these knives from some of these companies I've been hearing about. Because I really got to experience it for myself. I mean, you can watch a video, it can only get you so far. You can actually go to Blade Show and handle the knives. That's definitely going to get you a lot closer to knowing whether or not it's something you want. But actually owning it for a while and really taking some time with it, that's where you're going to find out. And this one's been pretty cool. One thing about it is it's a little bit odd over time because there's no real place to put like a Torx bit on the pivot to tighten it up. And I do fidget with it quite a bit because it is a fidget monster. So it's kind of gotten loose, and it's even a little loose right now. So I don't know what kind of tool you need, like a spanner wrench or something like that. I can kind of get my fingernails in there and turn it. You know, obviously a pivot doesn't need to be super tight, but I'll get in there and I'll kind of get a little bit of a turn on it like that. It'll tighten it up. I'm a little afraid to take it apart. I probably have to watch a video for something like that to do any Loctiting on it. But it's not like it's loosening up so fast that the thing's falling apart or anything, but that's just something a little odd about it. But otherwise, very cool, decorative, all that. So anyway, so still, after I've gotten this one, I'm kind of enjoying it, and I'm hearing that Remette is really, the quality is there. It's really good, and I know that they had some budget knives, the Rhino, and I've been thinking about the Rhino for a long time, but then I saw a video on this knife, and let's just break it out. This is a budget, so this is one that is coming in at, hang on a second, let me check the price. It is coming in at $49. Actually, I think it's a little bit more, but they had like a deal on it, some kind of a coupon. that was mentioned in a video that I watched from Uncommon EDC. You should check out his video, Jake over there. He's a great guy, and he had a great video on this one. And he had a one of those coupon codes. And then I went to Amazon where it was supposed to be working. I couldn't get it to work, so I ended up at White Mountain Knives, and they just had the price at $49. So I think maybe it's like about $60 or something otherwise. But I did get it at that better price. And this one is, and I haven't seen it on a lot of videos. I haven't seen too many people talking about this one. Well, let's see. It's got some paperwork. So you're going to, haven't really looked at all this stuff here. And showing what they got. Some information. Haven't even opened up the cloth. I got lots of those. But I did get out the knife, and I have carried it quite a bit. Oh, they do also give you a little Torx bit, because this one does have the Torx on the pivot, which I like for adjustment. This one is called, and if you haven't seen it before, the Wild Species. For one thing, I like the name. I kind of like that name, Wild Species. And immediately on looking at it, I like this G10. This green G10. Green is like my favorite color. And I like that kind of distressed looking, I guess, or how it kind of, it's like not all one color, and especially where the chamfering's done on the side, which makes it comfortable to hold, but also gives you those layers from the layered G10 there. Then it also has a liner, kind of like what you see on a fixed blade a lot of times. That red liner gives it a great pop, and the colors look really good. And then you got this blue. So there's like, the thumb studs are these barrel shaped, and they got like a little chamfer around the edge there. But it also has like this little blue thing in the middle of it, and the pivot collar is blue. So it's got all these cool little accents to it. Very nice. And I think that's, especially for a cheaper knife, very nice touch. Look at that blade. Okay, so already, if you know, I like those big blades. Wild Species. Let's see how it compares against the Perigrine Falcon. Yeah, they're about the same size. So the two decent sized knives. We can measure those guys and see what the blade length is. I know it's over 3. Because when it gets down to 3, I'm already starting to get a little bit less interested. 3 3/8. Both of them are coming in about 3 3/8 on the blade length. Overalls, got 7 3/4, and this one's close to 8. So maybe you get a little more handle. And I do like that this Wild Species does have that kind of shape to it, where it kind of arches all the way up along the top. When you hold it in your hand, the blade kind of dips down a little bit because of that arch that comes. So when you're cutting, you're kind of holding your cutting, because as it cuts, instead of sliding off the end, it's going to tend to slide this way, and you'll just kind of adjust into the cut. Really cool. It's got this kind of frosted sort of blasted area along the primary bevel there, and then that secondary bevel just kind of pops out of it because you have that frosted. It really makes it shine there. And then it's got a little bit of that flat with a satin, horizontal satin grind lines a little bit, and then a little bit more frosted on the top on the swedge. So yeah, I like the look of this knife. It's very cool. $49 is an excellent price, I think, for this one. The thumb studs work well, and it also has a front flipper that works very, very well. I'm getting better and better with front flippers over time. I have more fun with them. Still, reverse flick is my favorite thing, and that's probably a little bit harder on here. It's one of those things where they don't give you as much gap here as you do on the thumb. The thumb looks great, but that's because you got that little scalloped area that helps you to get into the liner lock, and that's also a very, very good thing. No jimping on the liner lock, but it does give you room to grab it Push it over the side, very nice and easy. I noticed that it has a little relief. So this is another little thing. It's like a little details. Kind of cool to check out. So a little relief on that liner to make it so that it moves a little bit easier. I don't know if this one has that that button pivot, but it also has a liner to it, and it's more like an inset liner that's bolted in there, but there's no relief on it. But I think it's just a little thinner maybe, and you got the button to get a lot of leverage on there. But you can actually use the liner if you forget that you got a button on the pivot. You can still use that liner, and it gives you access to it and everything like that. But yeah, this one's very cool. It's heavy. Another thing that I like. So this one kind of is speaking to me. It's speaking my language. All these things, the green, the liners. I mean the red liner there, probably like a G10 or a paper something. But that pop of red, then the liner lock with the little relief there, the access, the kind of forward cant to the blade, little drop point. All these things are just checking boxes for me. So I'm super happy about this budget knife. And, it's funny. I was watching Video Duty Daggers. He was in his car and he's talking about how his channel's changed over time, and it's because he's not as excited with budget knives. And he says, he doesn't have a problem with anybody else. He's not trying to tell anybody else what to do. He's just being honest. And it's something that I've had that same kind of effect as I buy more knives. If you haven't seen the Chris Reeves video that I just put out recently, I mean, I'm getting some pretty premier knives, especially for me, because I don't have an unlimited budget for sure. But anyway, he's saying that the budget knives, and occasionally he'll find them that he likes, but the budget knives are getting a little boring, and I can see that. There's so many budget knives out there, which is great if that's your range, because you have so much to choose from. But when I see something like this, that's such a value and really does a lot of good things, I get excited about it, definitely. And so, a high price, well-made, quality knife is one thing, and I do enjoy it. But a lower cost, still with a lot of little thoughts and touches in there, maybe, because this is a more expensive knife. I think this was like I should have this thing so I can read it. $255. So this was $255 when I got it, but it does have M390 steel and the titanium handles, and then all these extra little things going on, flame ammo even on the pocket clip. But this one is just G10 and 14C28N, and I'm not unhappy with 14C28N. A lot of people like it. I like it. I think there's a lot of things going on that's really good with this. I mean, like the sharpening choil, all these little things. It's got some jimping on it, which isn't that great of jimping, but it does work for this front flipper very well. As far as having it up here and feeling it on your thumb, you don't really feel it, but that's not as important as a good sized handle. I get all four fingers on. I can even choke up a little bit there into that choil area without endangering my finger. And yeah, it's super comfortable to hold. The middle finger flip isn't quite as good, but you do have that front flipper. I think that's a nice little thing, little trade-off. So yeah, I really like this knife. Budget knife, under $50 is what I paid for it. Maybe check out White Mountain if you're interested, you're looking for it. White Mountain Knives, maybe somebody else has that same discount, I don't know. But even if it was like $65, I still think it's worth it. 14C28N, it's not like some of the other steels, 7CRs, 8CRs. I think 14C kind of stands a little bit above some of those other ones, more in the probably 154 CM, that kind of thing. Anyway, just wanted to tell you, I like this knife. Wanted you to see one of my latest purchases. I am not at Blade Show. I wish I was. So I'm kind of spending a little bit of money. I got a little extra money from my work. I mentioned that in the Chris Reeves knife video. Also mentioned on the Chris Reeves knife video that my channel's at a little bit of position where I don't know what's going to happen. It may be that next week I no longer have access to this channel anymore. So as I said on that channel or on that video, I'll just make another channel on another Google account, and we'll move forward, but we might just have to start over from scratch, but that's okay. Anyway, I appreciate all you guys. I appreciate everybody that watches my videos. I hope that if I end up having to switch over to another account, that I will be able to get most, if not all, of the people to come over with me to this other one. We're doing the same content, you know, same thing, same old Ken. So anyway, you guys have a good one, and I'll see you on the next one.